Good morning, how are you? Hope you're having a wonderful day. What I want to do today is compare the Cadex Turtle to the RunCam Split Mini. Side by side here. I haven't actually got any footage out of the Cadex Turtle yet, but now that I've opened it up and I've done a little bit of work on it, there's a couple things about it that's interesting. One thing is the weight. So if we're going, take the lens caps off. Okay, so with that, on the screws, that, and that. That's 17.5 grams. Okay. And then we've got the Cadex Turtle. It's coming in at 14 grams, which is kind of disappointing because they said it came in at about 9 grams. So I'm trying to figure out what the deal is here. This is 14 grams. Okay, 13.9 grams. And this is 17 grams with the hardware. Okay. Well, another thing that's very strange about it is if you line up all the holes, let's say you've got a 20mm bolt pattern, you line the holes up on this, they all line up except for that one, which is absolutely, it's like almost completely unacceptable. So then they've got the solution that's like an adapter plate for if you have like a 30mm stack. So it doesn't matter because you have this adapter plate, right? Well, not only does it weigh more, you have to trim it down, put this adapter plate in. Okay. I don't like the adapter plate having to be necessary in order to fit it on there. So obviously this clip was in the way and they just decided to use an adapter plate instead of trying to make the whole pattern. We're going for weight, so doing an adapter plate, I think that's a bad option, and you just have to come up with the next version that's actually configured differently so that you can fit the holes in the right spots. I don't know why you don't start with a blank that has the holes in it first. So that's one thing I don't like about the Cadex Turtle. So what I'm going to end up doing is just leaving out this corner, so it's only going to have 3 points of contact, which makes it, if this strikes, it's going to break. Another thing that I don't like right off the bat is on this one, if you look here, you can see that it's actually touching this part of the frame. So if I'm going to use this camera, I'm going to have to take and grind out this part so it has a little bit of clearance, at least like a 1/16 of an inch. So that's going to weaken this top plate a little bit, which is a little bit, these are kind of things like, I'm going to use it and it's going to be fine, but it needs to be fixed in the next version. Another thing is, okay, they've got this controller for the OSD. Let me move it out of here. this, which you had to use an adapter off of this, which is just like, okay, so now you have to carry around this and this. Guess you could just put it on here, but it seems like they should just make this plug fit onto here. I don't know, it's just, the design on this is not quite as well thought out as the RunCam. And I'm saving 3 grams doing it like this, so it is worth it, 3 grams. Honestly, I think the RunCam is probably a better design and possibly a better camera. I'm not sure, but hopefully the video looks good on the Cadex Turtle. The only thing I'm concerned about is if it has lower latency, if I can tell the difference, or maybe things are too ghosty. I'm not sure yet. I haven't flown with it, but I have flown with the RunCam and I haven't had any problems with that, so we'll see if it's any comparison or whether it's better or worse. We'll find out. One thing is it has an SD card. Like this one has a guard to keep it from popping completely out. I think this one just fits in farther, I'm not sure. But if you get in a crash, it's going to shoot out if it gets contacted. So besides the hole being in the wrong spot and possibly having to use an adapter to make it fit, I think it's going to be a pretty cool little, look at that, come on. Another thing is they gave you these really small hardware. Well, let's see what the Cadex Turtle weighs with the hardware. Okay, so the hardware is 1.2 grams, and I weighed the Split Mini at 17 grams. Okay, so it's 15.1 grams. So you're really saving 2 grams when you compare this to the Cadex Turtle. 2 grams. Unless you're using both of these adapters, in which case, wow, okay, in which case you're adding 5.2 grams. So if you use one of these adapters, you're going to be heavier than the RunCam Split Mini. So I mean, it's kind of nice to know that. And it might be a deciding factor if you are trying to put this into something like the AcroBrat. The Split Mini is going to fit better. You won't have to do any modification. And it has these really short, look at this. Roll down here, okay. So it has these really short spacers here, and it basically sets it down on that outside shield for the SD card. Almost sets it right on the carbon. So all these little resistors and stuff are just barely off. And I know that this is a plastic case around the button, but sometimes I've had buttons contact, and little capacitors like that, if they contact. So the way it's designed, it looks like if it's flat on this little sheet metal SD card slot, it just barely any clearance, but it has enough clearance with this that it's just off. I mean, it is just barely off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an insulating layer down. So if anything bends, like let's say that one corner that's sticking out, if this part gets hit, something flexes, it's not going to cause a short. So, I mean, honestly, I think next time I might get the Split Mini. We'll see how I like this lens and the footage and stuff like that. So, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day.